Who the hell is Jaylen Henderson, man? All week we were hearing Max not playing. Max has broken ribs. Max has bruised ribs. Jimbo not really committing to saying Max is playing. Kind of wishy-washy when giving his answers about Max practicing. Lo and behold, minutes before the game, we hear Max is in street clothes. In comes Jaylen Henderson. And you know what? Throughout the week, I figured Max probably wasn't going to play. And I was thinking to myself, that's not good. But also, Max hasn't had the best year at quarterback for Texas A&M. It's been up and down. It's been a struggle. The most recent performance versus Ole Miss, best offensive performance that Texas A&M has had under Max this year. Could that carry over? Max still had some blunders in that game, the bad interception before half. It sucks that you lose him, but I figured a backup could still win this game. And I just thought to myself, man, it would be fun if he just came out and showed out. But not really entertaining that notion, not really taking that too seriously. Lo and behold, this guy comes out, he's running, he's throwing dimes, he's throwing on the run. The best part about him is he was just decisive. It seemed like he found the soft spots in the defense, he would throw the ball. No one's open, he would run the ball. And he's super quick, super athletic, had 2 rushing touchdowns on the night. The offense looked different. And coming out of last week, I was saying if they pick up where they left off, specifically the offensive line, blowing holes into the defense, opening running lanes, I thought this offense could have some success versus Mississippi State, who has a pretty good defense, not special, but pretty good. And it looked better than I even possibly would have imagined. My score prediction was 42-10, but that was thinking that we would have Evan, Max, and Moss this week. We didn't have any of those guys. And this was absolutely the best offensive performance this season. It's up there with the LSU performance over the last 2 years. So it's one of the best offensive performances of the last 2 seasons. Didn't blow the stat sheet up. It was about a 400-yard game, I believe, 150 through the air. It was a great running game. And when you have a quarterback like Jaylen Henderson, it's like a 12th man on the field, no pun intended. It's like you have such a threat when the guy can actually giddy up and go, and it's not just like a serviceable runner like Max is. This is a scrambler. This guy could legit take off and accelerate into the end zone, and we saw it time and time again. Now, transferring out of this is the headline here. Of course, we have to talk about Jaylen Henderson. We'll talk more about him in a second. Talk about the offensive line. I don't think they played perfect, but they definitely run blocked well. They blew some holes open for Amari Daniels and the growing Ruben Owens. Ruben Owens looking more sure of himself now, folks, isn't he? Finding some more lanes, keeping his head on the swivel, his eyes, his vision, it's all opening up for him. And the O-line is blocking a whole lot better. So it all came together for this offense today. You saw screens, you saw tunnel screens. This is a question I have for you guys. I haven't rewatched the game yet, obviously. I'm here sitting in my truck at the hotel. I just got home from Chick-fil-A after the game in Kyle Field. Lovely atmosphere. But my question is, did they simplify the offense? Was this the full offense? It's hard to tell when I was at the game exactly what was going on, but I don't remember seeing a tunnel screen before. I don't know if I want to say that it was just Henderson being more decisive or if it was quicker read plays. Because a lot of times you have the plays where the quarterback drops back, goes through his progressions, makes calls at the line. Was that happening tonight, or was this like a simplified third-string quarterback offense? Whatever it was, I freaking liked it. And I don't know if it was Jaylen just being decisive or if it was the offense. Y'all tell me that. I don't remember where I was going with this, but I wanted to talk about the play calling, seeing the tunnel screen that we scored on with Anias, the screens to the tight ends, just the quick hitters. They were awesome plays. Awesome plays. Everything was clicking on offense. But the defense forced 4 turnovers. We saw something that we don't see very often, and that's complementary football. Offense and defense feeding off of each other, making great plays, forcing turnovers, forcing end zone turnovers. scoop and score touchdowns to growing players. Shamar Stewart, growing young player, getting into the end zone. They had nothing going. Parson, number 6, I believe he's number 16 for them, their quarterback that started the game. He was the one that I feared the most. He showed a lot of promise last week versus Kentucky. They rave about him, having a lot of arm talent. He's a young guy. He's a freshman who could develop into something special, they say. A&M made him look so rookie. And that's exactly what you have to do when a freshman quarterback comes to Kyle Field. They had him on the ground. They had him running around. They put in Mike Wright, the running quarterback, number 14, I believe, who has kind of been taking snaps all year alongside Will Rogers when he was healthy. He actually made Texas A&M pay more with his legs, and I think between what either of the quarterbacks did. A&M shut their offense down. There was really nothing going, and whenever they had something going, they forced a turnover. They had an awesome 4th and 1 stop. They stopped a quarterback sneak. That's pretty damn hard to do because the sneak in today's day and age is a highly successful play. Just based on, I don't know, the leverages of it. I don't know why it's so successful. It seems like the sneak always worked. A&M stuffed a sneak on a, let's say, questionable 4th and 1 decision by Arnett and the Bulldogs. Man, as fun as that night was for A&M, it's the total opposite for Mississippi State. They're looking at probably firing Arnett after a year where he isn't even supposed to be their coach. I kind of feel for that program. But A&M was able to tee off on them. Just a great all-around game. I can't wait to rewatch it. Oftentimes, I've been dreading rewatching games. This one, I'm going to kick back, maybe have a whiskey, and take this one in. Probably not even going to skip the commercials. I'm going to watch the commercials to this one. It's that good. I want to talk about the dramatic shit. The overreaction stuff. Should Jaylen Henderson be playing over Connor Wigman in 2024? I'm kidding. But is Jaylen Henderson better than Max Johnson? Or is the offense they utilized with Jaylen Henderson better than the offense they utilized with Max Johnson? Are the philosophies different when you have a quarterback who's less experienced, who's been around less often, who has less access to the playbook? That's one theory. Or is he just a gamer? Is he just decisive and just looser? Doesn't think too much, doesn't overthink. Is he better than Max? It's one game. It's one game, but I haven't seen the A&M offense look like that this year. It's hard to say. It's like, is it the chicken or the egg? The offense changing, the quarterback, it's both. It's exciting. I hope he plays versus ACU. And the post-game presser, which I haven't watched in its entirety yet, but I heard Jimbo said that Max is almost healthy. That could be more deception. Who knows? I heard they had a guy out there pre-game wearing a number 14 t-shirt to throw off Mississippi State. This guy was throwing left-handed. I don't know if he was throwing to actual players or he was just out there to look like the quarterback to make them think it was Max Johnson warming up. Did y'all hear about that? Go look at Twitter. There's some images. That's pretty funny. So yeah, they're probably going to keep doing that going into LSU. Maybe Max plays, maybe he doesn't. I bet Max doesn't play versus ACU. We're not going to know if he's really healthy enough to be questionable or if they're just going to play the deception game all the way up to the LSU game. I think there's something to it. I'm not ready to say that Jaylen's better than Max, but I think it's an avenue that is to be explored, to be thought about, and not to be scoffed at. Because he looked really freaking good against, like I said, a okay defense. Wasn't special, wasn't terrible. But we've seen Max look pretty bad against bad teams. South Carolina, not much going. Arkansas, you played half a good game. You did pretty good versus Auburn. But I haven't seen the offense look like that. I'll say it again. I don't know, man. I just liked his decisiveness out there. I just liked his willingness to take what the defense was giving, whether it was a run or just fighting the soft spots. The team stayed on schedule. I mean, it was just successful. And your playbook looks so much better when you're on schedule, when you're not playing from your heels, when you're playing pushing forward, when you're getting your third and manageables. Everything looks better when that's the case. So, I don't know. He got him there. How about the fourth string running back, Bailey, the transfer getting in? I think he averaged 11 yards per carry this game in garbage time. That was pretty fun. Just a feel-good game, man. Kyle Field was totally packed, 103,000. Everyone was there early. Like, when I walked in last minute. I barely made it to my seats in time for kickoff. There was not an open seat in the building, pretty much. I mean, A&M needed this feel-good home game win. I know Mississippi State's not good, but it's a night SEC game at Kyle Field for these fans, for recruits, for the team, for the coaches to feel good about, to go home and just take a little bit of a sigh and, you know, just reflect on and be happy about. It's been a rough season. It's been a rough 2 years. A&M is bowl eligible. You didn't do that last year. You got there now. You know, you still wish you would have beaten Tennessee. I mean, they just got blown out by Missouri. Ole Miss just got blown out by Georgia. You feel like you should have beaten Bama, and Miami kind of, you know, has fallen off. Disappointing year, but you got to take this win and feel good with it because it's one that you got. It's one that you had to get. And you passed with flying colors. You exceeded expectations this game. So, be happy, Aggies. I know it's a small win. It's one to be happy about. Like, take the excuse to be happy. We're going to beat Abilene Christian next week. LSU just gave up like 35 points to Florida. They're not stopping anyone. So even if it's Jaylen Henderson out there, whatever he actually is, I think he has a chance to continue to build on what he did tonight. Because you're just not going to see an elite defense for the rest of this regular season. And that's really exciting. So I hope they stayed healthy. I hope they stay healthy next week. And I hope they can attack LSU head on because I'm itching. I want it. I predicted that game. I predicted this is the year that A&M wins at LSU. That's just my lottery ticket, you know. I don't know if that fight's getting fixed, but that's just my shot in the dark prediction. So I'm sticking with it. But enjoy the win, guys. Enjoy it. Savor it. I know this team will. I'll see you guys Monday after I've rewatched the game. We'll talk about some other things. Some coaches on the staff got extended. There was some clickbait, some article headlines out there saying Adazio got a new contract. Did Steve Adazio get a new contract? We'll talk about that stuff Monday. But guys, enjoy the win, enjoy the night, enjoy the weekend. Gig 'em.